Hello and welcome to Markets Today. I'm your host Ibrahim Sani. The ringgit opened higher against the US dollar today and some other currencies. A dealer quoted by Bernama said that the strengthening of the ringgit is due to mild support for the local currency, and the local unit was quoted at 4 ringgit 19 cent against the greenback. The market was closed on Friday for the Awal Muharram public holiday, and the local unit was also slightly stronger against the euro, which is facing political uncertainty in Germany. It's now time for the business brief. We start off with a fire breaking out at one of LCT's plants in Pasir Gudang on 20th September. It was put out within 10 minutes and there were no injuries or fatalities. According to Maybank Research, the impact is likely to be minor as it involves an isolated production line and the major operations are unaffected. Maybank says that assuming the worst case scenario, product volume could be seen at 3% lower than their base forecast and impact the earnings by a similar quantum. Risk reward remains attractive despite the incident, maintaining Maybank's buy call with a target price of 7 ringgit 85 cent. Next, we have Maybank has reiterated a buy call following AIA's announcement on 23rd September in Hong Kong that they have agreed to acquire Commonwealth Bank of Australia or CBA life insurance units in Australia and New Zealand. The deal also bridges AIA-CBA into a 20-year banca partnership in both markets, in Australia as well as New Zealand. The research house believes this deal could address investors' concerns on AIA's excessive capital deployment, with their near-term financial impact likely to be limited. The bank believes that if the deal is executed successfully, it could add long-term value or VNB upside to these markets. Moving on to Singapore, Maybank Research says that CapitaLand Commercial Trust or CCT's acquisition of Asia Square Tower 2 is viewed to be positive as it is priced at a discount to comparable properties and the replacement cost of a new office building. With this deal, it effectively swapped two assets of lower yields for a higher quality asset and higher yield. This acquisition is funded by a combination of rights, debts and divestment proceeds, and Maybank keeps their estimates unchanged pending deal completion, maintaining a buy call of $1 to 81 cent. On Friday, Bank of Indonesia announced a 25 basis point cut to its benchmark 7-day reverse repo rate to 4.25%. The lending and deposit facility rates were also lowered by 25 basis points to 5.00% and 3.50% respectively. The lower rates will take effect today, 25th of September. The majority of the analysts polled had expected the central bank to hold off the August rate cut, which was the first cut since October last year. BI said that the rate decision had taken into consideration of external risks, including the US interest rate increase and a balance sheet normalization plan. The central bank said that their stance remains neutral, with the latest rate move of cumulative interest rate cuts since 2016 is now 200 basis points. UOB Research says that they have flagged the possibility of the rate cut on Friday, and they see this latest rate move as the last rate cut of the year. Next week, I will have a full-form interview with Maybank Asia CEO Kamaluddin Ahmad. But here is a snippet of that interview talking about Maybank insurance business and their revenue to the group.
That is correct. We had a 34% jump last year. But just to put things in perspective, we went from a dip in 2015 to rebound in 2016 to 810. And despite the sluggish first quarter for us, we had picked up really well for the rest of the year, up from April to August, where we've been growing about 20 to 25% every month.
But the number that I want to focus on is on the revenue of your group, which sees a contribution declining year on year from 8.2% in 2014 to 7.4% in 2015. Last year, you contributed 6.5% to the revenue to the group. Is this a worrying trend for the insurance business of Maybank?
It is not. It is also partly because how our insurance numbers are reported in the Maybank group level. Because there are three lines really on the bank side. You have the interest income, the non-interest income, and also the insurance profit from insurance business. The profit from insurance business is really just premium minus the liabilities. This number can go up and down depending on the yield curve because the actual liabilities is computed, discounted back based on the MGS yield curve. So when the yield curve goes down, there's an impact there. However, for our contribution also goes into the non-interest income.
You can watch the full interview of my talk with Maybank Ageas, the partner and the owner of Maybank Etiqa on Market Talk. It airs next week. Going forward, the story of UOB Malaysia is in the news as they have seen a 106% increase over the last 3 years in the number of customers using their online banking services. With the growing presence of and reliance on mobile devices and tablets, these customers are also making more online banking transactions. The number of online transactions, such as fund transfers and bill payments, rose by 133% over the same period. According to data from UOB Malaysia, the number of online fund transfers and bill payments increased by 184% and 90% respectively between the periods of August 2014 to July 2017. The data also showed that in the first 7 months of this year, online fund transfers accounted for 59% of all online financial transactions, while bill payments made up another 12%. Managing Director and Country Head of Personal Financial Services of UOB Malaysia, Ronnie Lim, says that the consumers' busy lifestyles demand that their banking and payment needs are simple and conveniently met. He says that consumers expect to have ease, speed and flexibility to carry out their financial transactions in keeping with the pace of their lifestyles. Rather than queuing at bank branches, he says customers now carry out their banking transactions online and on the go. And in the US, citizens of 8 countries, including North Korea and Venezuela, will face new restrictions on entry to the United States under a proclamation made by and signed by President Donald Trump on Sunday that will replace his expiring travel ban. The new rules, which will impact the citizens of Chad, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Syria, Venezuela and Yemen, will go into effect on October 18. The restrictions range from an indefinite ban on visas for citizens of countries like Syria to more targeted restrictions. A suspension of non-immigrant visas to citizens for Venezuela, for instance, will apply only to certain government officials and their immediate families. The announcement comes the same day as Trump's temporary ban on visitors from 6 Muslim-majority countries was set to expire 90 days after it went into effect. That ban had barred citizens of Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria and Yemen who lack a credible claim of a bona fide relationship with a person or entity in the United States from entering the US. Only one of those countries, Sudan, will no longer be subject to travel restrictions. We'll take a short breather, but when we come back, we'll explore Malaysia's GDP growth. Stay tuned.